The void screamed. Captain Sarah Chen's eyes snapped open to emergency klaxons and the metallic taste of cryostasis fluid. Her neural implants flooded with data, damage reports, temporal displacement warnings, gravitational anomalies. The Prometheus was alive, but something was catastrophically wrong. "Bridge crew, status report." Her voice cracked from centuries of disuse. "Captain, you need to see this." Commander James Rodriguez's face appeared on her retinal display, his expression somewhere between awe and terror. "We're not in Kansas anymore." Chen staggered to the bridge, her legs remembering how to walk. Through the massive viewports, she saw a sight that stopped her heart. A fleet, but not human. Sleek vessels of impossible geometries surrounded the Prometheus. Organic curves, mixed with crystalline structures, propulsion systems that defied physics as she knew it. "Scan complete," Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka announced from the sensor station. "Captain, the stellar cartography doesn't match any known configuration. The Barnard star colony we were heading to. It's there, but the infrastructure is gone, replaced by something else." "Time displacement?" Chen gripped the command chair. "Worse." Tanaka's fingers danced across holographic displays. "According to radiocarbon dating of interstellar dust and stellar drift patterns, we've jumped forward approximately 473 years. The bridge fell silent. "Impossible," Rodriguez whispered. "The quantum fold drive wasn't designed for temporal." "Incoming transmission," interrupted Ensign Marcus Webb at Communications. "Multiple frequencies, multiple languages. They're trying everything from radio to quantum entanglement. Can you decode any of it?" Webb's expression darkened. "The AI is working on it, but Captain, one phrase keeps repeating across all channels. The computer has a 78% confidence translation." "Show me." The words materialized on the main display, rendered in a dozen alien scripts with a single English translation beneath. "The ghost ship. The human remnant. The impossible." Chen felt ice in her veins. "Elaborate, Ensign." "Ma'am, according to what we're intercepting, humanity. We're extinct. The Great Collapse. Earth is quarantined. Our colonies are archaeological sites." Webb's voice trembled. "They think we're a myth come to life." The bridge erupted in chaos. Chen raised her hand for silence. "Commander Rodriguez, ship status?" "Surprisingly good. The nanobot repair systems activated during stasis. Hull integrity at 92%. Fold drives offline but repairable. Quantum computing cores fully operational. Weapon systems." He paused. "Active and responding." "Don't even think about it," Chen warned. "We're diplomats now, not conquerors." "What about life support?" "Hydroponics bays maintain themselves. We have food for decades. The genetic archives in Cryobay 7 are intact. Seeds, embryos, DNA samples from Earth." Rodriguez's expression softened. "We're a Noah's Ark, Captain. Maybe the last one." Chen straightened, generations of military bearing flooding back. The Prometheus wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's epitaph and its second chance. "Ensign Webb, prepare a response. Tell them we come in peace and request diplomatic contact with the coalition leadership." She turned to her crew. "Everyone else, battle stations, not for war but for respect. We're about to remind this galaxy what humans are capable of." As the crew moved to their stations with practiced efficiency, Chen pulled up the ship's archives. Cultural databases, literature, music, art, scientific discoveries, the accumulated knowledge of a species that had reached for the stars and paid the price. "Captain, they're responding," Webb announced. "A delegation wants to board. Species identified as." He consulted his screen. Valaxi, crystalline intelligence. Theron, methane breathers with distributed consciousness, and, wait, Quarathi, the dominant coalition species. They're sending a high arbitrator. "How long do we have?" "They request permission to dock in 6 hours. 6 hours to prepare. 6 hours to decide humanity's fate." Chen walked to the observation deck, Rodriguez following silently. Below them, the hangar bays stretched for nearly a kilometer, filled with fighters, assault craft, and exploration vessels, all bearing the insignia of the Terran Confederation, a government that had died centuries ago. "What do we tell them?" Rodriguez asked quietly. The truth. Chen's reflection stared back at her from the armored glass. That we didn't die. We were just late to the party. She turned to face her XO. Prep the cultural database for presentation. Full access to our history, arts, sciences, everything that made us human. And Rodriguez, ma'am? Wake the civilians in Cryobay 3. Scientists, engineers, artists, teachers. 473 years is a long time. We need to show them we're not just a warship. We're a civilization. As Rodriguez departed, to execute her orders, Chen gazed at the alien fleet surrounding her ship. Somewhere out there, in this transformed galaxy, was Earth. Humanity's cradle. Quarantined. Forgotten. Not anymore. The Prometheus had returned from the void, carrying with it the memory of a species too stubborn to stay dead. Whatever the Coalition expected from this ghost ship, they were about to get a harsh lesson in human determination. Sarah Chen smiled, the expression predatory and filled with hope in equal measure. The galaxy thought humanity was extinct. Time to prove them wrong. The airlock cycled with a hiss that seemed to echo through centuries. Captain Chen stood flanked by a ceremonial honor guard, 12 crew members in crisp Terran Confederation uniforms that hadn't been worn in nearly 500 years. Behind her, the Prometheus's interior gleamed with impossible cleanliness, the nanobot swarms having worked overtime to transform the ship from a battle-scarred relic into a showcase of human engineering. The Coalition delegation entered carefully, as if afraid the floor might disappear beneath them. High Arbitrator Zelthor moved first, a Quarathi whose four-armed chitinous frame towered 3 meters tall, bioluminescent patterns rippling across their carapace in what Chen's neural implant translated as profound curiosity mixed with existential dread. Behind them came the Valaxi scientist, a being of living crystal that refracted light into impossible colors, and the Theron diplomat, whose body was more gas than solid, contained within an elegant environmental suit. Captain Sarah Chen, Zelthor's voice emerged from a translator device, somehow conveying both authority and wonder. You are alive. Your crew is alive. This ship is. They gestured at the pristine corridors. Functional, more than functional. Fully operational, Chen confirmed, extending her hand in the ancient gesture of peace. Welcome aboard the TCS Prometheus. We understand our arrival has caused some concern. The Valaxi scientist, identified as Crystalline Who Remembers, chimed like bells. Concern. Captain, you are a walking paradox. According to our records, humanity ceased to exist during the Great Collapse of 2157. Earth is a dead world. Your colonies are ruins we study to understand ancient technology. Ancient? Commander Rodriguez couldn't help the edge in his voice. 473 years ancient. The Theron diplomat, missed breath of understanding, wheezed through their translator. Your species was remarkable. You achieved faster-than-light travel in less than a century of spaceflight. Your wars were legendary in their devastation and creativity. But you burned too bright, too fast. Chen led them deeper into the ship, each step a carefully choreographed revelation. We'd like to show you something. They entered the ship's heart, a vast chamber where holographic displays painted the air with human history. The delegation froze. This is Earth, Chen narrated as the blue marble rotated before them. Before whatever happened. We were on a mission to establish the Barnard Star colony when our experimental quantum fold drive malfunctioned. We didn't just travel through space, we traveled through time. Images flashed. Cities of glass and steel, spacecraft launching from orbital rings, children of every ethnicity playing in low-gravity parks, scientists bent over experiments that would seed the stars. We preserved everything, Lieutenant Tanaka added, pulling up additional files. Genetic samples of 10,000 species, seeds from every crop variety, cultural databases containing every book, every song, every piece of art humanity ever created. We are a time capsule, a message in a bottle from a civilization you thought was dead. Crystalline Who Remembers resonated with what could only be awe. The computational power required to store and maintain this data. Our scientists have been trying to reverse engineer quantum probability computing from ruins for generations. You have it functioning? Fully operational, Rodriguez confirmed with barely suppressed pride, along with self-repairing nanobot systems, medical technology that can cure cellular degradation, and fold drive technology that apparently doubles as a time machine. Impossible, Mist Breath of Understanding breathed. We've studied your ruins. The technology always failed, deteriorated. The Coalition's greatest minds couldn't restart a single human fusion reactor. Chen smiled. That's because you didn't have the original engineers. Commander, if you please. Rodriguez tapped a command and the room filled with people, hundreds of faces appearing as holographic presences. Scientists, engineers, artists, teachers. The awakened civilians from Cryo Bay 3. We're not just soldiers, Chen said softly. We're a civilization and we'd like to join yours. Silence stretched like a gravitational field. Then Arbitrator Zelthor's bioluminescence flared in a pattern Chen's implant struggled to translate. Something between joy, fear, and bureaucratic panic. Captain Chen, you must understand what you're asking. The Coalition has 600 member species. We've built a society on the ashes of dozens of extinct civilizations, including yours. We've established laws, trade routes, research protocols. Your technology alone could destabilize. We're not interested in destabilization. Chen interrupted gently but firmly. We're interested in survival, partnership. We have knowledge you've lost. You have knowledge we never gained. Seems like a fair trade. Crystalline, who remembers, chimed urgently. The Council must be informed. This will require centuries of deliberation. You have 6 months, Chen said, steel entering her voice. 6 months to grant humanity provisional membership in the Coalition. After that, we start making our own decisions about contacting our old colonies, exploring Coalition space, and sharing our technology with whoever seems friendliest. That's extortion. Mist Breath of Understanding protested. That's negotiation. Rodriguez corrected with a sharp smile. Human style. Arbitrator Zelthor's patterns shifted to what might have been respect. You've been awake for less than 12 hours and you're already threatening the political stability of galactic civilization. Chen's smile widened. Arbitrator, humanity didn't get to the stars by being timid. We're adaptable, determined, and historically we don't take no for an answer. You can have us as friends, partners, and allies. She let the implication hang. Or you can have us as unpredictable variables in your carefully ordered galaxy. We need to consult with the Council, Zelthor finally said. Of course. Meanwhile, we'll begin repairs to our fold drive. For purely defensive purposes, you understand. As the delegation departed, clearly shaken, Rodriguez leaned close. Captain, you just threatened the galactic government. No, Chen corrected, watching the alien ship undock. I just reminded them that humanity never learned how to quit. She turned back to her ship, her ark, her weapon, her home. Let's show this galaxy what we're made of. The Coalition Council chamber was designed to inspire awe, a spherical room suspended in space itself, where 600 species gathered as holographic avatars to debate the fate of civilizations. Today, for the first time in 70 years, they held an emergency session. Captain Chen stood at the center, her physical form projected to impossible size, while the Prometheus maintained orbit around the chamber's station. Around her, thousands of alien representatives whispered, chimed, flickered, and resonated in languages her neural implant struggled to process. Order, Arbitrator Zelthor's voice cut through the chaos. The human remnant has petitioned for Coalition membership. Given the unique circumstances, we've accelerated the process to today. Unique is putting it mildly, grumbled a Krenathi representative, their tentacles writhing with agitation. They possess technology we've declared theoretically impossible. Their computing systems exceed our best quantum processors by orders of magnitude. Their warship could level a planet. Could, Chen interjected calmly, but won't. The Prometheus was built as a colony ship and a defender. We've never fired on a civilian target. Can all species here claim the same? The chamber erupted. Chen had done her homework during the long 3 months of negotiations. The Krenathi had pacified 12 civilizations through orbital correction procedures. The elegant Silthari maintained peace through planet-killing asteroids. Even the peaceful Valaxi had once crystallized an entire species into monuments as a final diplomatic solution. Crystalline, who remembers, chimed in support. The human speaks truth. In 3 months, they've shared medical technology that's saved 17 million lives across Coalition space. Their nanobot swarms have repaired stations we'd abandoned as unsalvageable. They've asked for nothing but recognition. They've asked for everything, another representative protested. Access to Earth, contact with their old colonies. Full trade rights? They want to resurrect a dead empire. We want to go home, Chen said quietly, and the chamber fell silent. Earth is our birth world. Whatever happened there, we have the right to visit, to mourn, to understand. Mist breath of understanding as form rippled. Earth is quarantined for good reason, Captain. The Great Collapse wasn't just a political or economic failure. Something happened there, something that made the planet itself hostile. The few expeditions we've sent have never returned. Then we go prepared. Rodriguez's voice cut in from the Prometheus. We've analyzed your expedition logs. They went in blind with no understanding of human technology or infrastructure. We built that world. We can survive it. And if you can't, Arbitrator Zelthor asked, if you suffer the same fate as our expeditions. Chen smiled grimly. Then you'll have definitive proof we're as extinct as you thought. But Arbitrator, with respect, humanity didn't conquer stellar travel by assuming failure. We did it by trying until we succeeded. A new voice entered the debate. Ancient, measured, the eldest speaker of the Thalor, a species so old they remembered when the first stars formed. I knew humans, the eldest whispered, their words carrying weight that silenced all dissent. Before the collapse, remarkable creatures. Violent, yes. Chaotic, absolutely. But also compassionate, creative, and stubborn beyond reason. The ancient being's avatar focused on Chen. You really intend to reclaim your world? We intend to try, Chen confirmed. Good. The eldest's approval rippled through the chamber. The galaxy has been too quiet, too orderly, too afraid of taking risks. Perhaps humanity's return is exactly what we need. The vote came swiftly after that. Of 600 species, 543 voted to grant humanity provisional coalition membership. 47 abstained. 10 voted against. It was enough. Captain Sarah Chen, Arbitrator Zelthor intoned formally, on behalf of the coalition of stellar nations, we welcome humanity back to the galactic community. You are granted all rights and responsibilities of membership, including, they paused dramatically, access to Earth, under your supervision and liability. Chen felt tears she didn't know she'd been holding back. Thank you, Arbitrator. We won't forget this. See that you don't, Zelthor replied, but their bioluminescent patterns suggested warmth. And Captain, when you reach Earth, if you find what destroyed your civilization, the Coalition would very much like to know. You'll be the first call we make, Chen promised. 6 weeks later, the Prometheus emerged from fold space at the edge of humanity's home system. The crew gathered on the bridge, civilians and military alike, as their homeworld appeared on the view screen for the first time in half a millennium. Earth hung in the void, wrapped in strange auroras. Ancient satellites still orbited, corroded but recognizable. The moon bore scars of bombardment Chen didn't remember. Mars showed signs of abandoned terraforming. Everything spoke of catastrophe, of dreams interrupted. Detecting energy signatures, Tanaka reported quietly. Ancient defense platforms. Automated systems still active after all these centuries. Signal them, Chen ordered. Full Terran Confederation authorization codes. Tell them we're coming home. For a long moment, nothing. Then, one by one, the platforms powered down. A path opened through the orbital defenses, and on every screen, a message appeared in text not seen in 500 years. Welcome home. Prometheus, humanity endures. Someone survived, Rodriguez whispered. Somebody's still down there. Chen gripped her command chair, staring at the world that birthed her species. Somewhere on that damaged, mysterious planet was the truth about the Great Collapse, about what happened to humanity, about who might still survive, but more than that, Earth represented a promise, a second chance, a renaissance not just for humans, but for the ideals they'd carried to the stars, curiosity, determination, the stubborn refusal to accept extinction. Helm, Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. Take us home. Standard approach. And someone wake the rest of the crew. She turned to address everyone aboard her ship, her ark, her weapon, her legacy. We came 473 years late to reclaim our place in the galaxy. But we're here now, and whether it takes months or centuries, we're going to remind every species out there why humanity earned its legends. The Prometheus descended toward Earth, carrying with it the memories of a vanished age and the seeds of a new one. Behind them, Coalition observers watched in awe as the impossible ship returned to its impossible birth world. Humanity had died once. But humans, as the galaxy was about to learn, had never been very good at staying dead. They had a habit of rising from ashes, rebuilding from ruins, and charging forward into the unknown with nothing but hope, ingenuity, and sheer bloody-minded determination. The Great Collapse had ended humanity's first chapter. The Prometheus Protocol would write the second, and this time, they wouldn't collapse. They'd learned from their mistakes. They'd grown stronger in the void. Humanity was back, and the galaxy would never be the same.